Good morning. It is 10:30 and I am making this video off the back of the last video that I made about living in Israel for 13 years. And someone asked on another video if I had converted or was I born Jewish. So I did convert. I don't usually just say that in normal conversation to people, but since this is my channel and it's all about me, so yeah, I converted maybe almost 20 years ago. So I've been Jewish almost 20 years, and the process before I converted was not easy, and but rewarding because I knew what I was doing and I knew why I was doing it. I think a lot of people that convert to any religion have to decide why they're doing it. And in Judaism, I find that if people are doing it because they just connect with the Jewish people, or they feel connected to the Jewish people, or they hang around, anything like dealing with just emotion for the Jewish people, have a harder time than in my opinion, than someone that converts for what Judaism is about and what the religion is. And I'm not sure how that is for other religions because I never converted to another religion. But Judaism is definitely not looking for converts. It doesn't seek them out. They actually discourage you from being Jewish. I know when I was looking, I remember when I got up the nerve to go to a Orthodox rabbi and say I want to convert, and he looks at me like, what? Why? You know, and I remember leaving that meeting crying because I'm like, he should be open, he should be happy, he's, whatever. It was all very like negative that I had from the experience. And then a couple of years later, when I went back to the same rabbi, and it didn't stop me. I continued like learning and understanding all the different religions to make sure that that's what I wanted to do. So when I went back to him, to make a long story short, he was like, why do I have you down from 2 years ago of coming to see me, that I had a meeting with you? What was that meeting about? So I told him what the meeting was about. And what was interesting was I told him how I felt. And he said, no. He's like, I wanted you to understand that converting to Judaism is really difficult because, I mean, you're already a woman, you're black, and you want to be Jewish too. All these three minorities locked up together, which all three get discrimination. And you want to just like lump it all up together, and so you're going to have, wow, so that's what he meant. And it's so funny how God works and when you're supposed to do something, because everything is like through him, and everything that happens is from God. Like every single thing, even the bad things, is also from him, and we just don't know why it's happening, which is what happened to me, because I'm crying in my car and I'm so upset and da-da-da-da. But thank God, I went through the process, and it was very difficult. And I usually do not talk about the process because I think any person who is interested in any type of religion really, really, really need to do the research, and also need to learn about the religion and what it is and all the other religions, so that you can make sure you can make an educated decision on why you want to be whatever that is, Jewish or Christian or Muslim or any of these things. And so yeah, that's what I did. I wanted to talk about today about like this month of Elul in Israel. So in Israel, you can tell when the holidays are coming up because everything's for sale that deals with the holiday. Like in America, you have Christmas, right? So they start selling or advertising for Christmas like in October, like right after Halloween, where before it used to be like right after Thanksgiving. So in Israel, like you can feel it in the air, like it's Elul, and it's going to be Tishrei, which is the Hebrew month Elul. And everybody's getting ready for Rosh Hashanah, the new year for the Jewish people, that we say the new year of the world, basically. So you can feel it in the air. And in our home, we have a minhag, a custom to blow a shofar every morning. And we haven't done it this morning because we've just been so crazy, but I'll just show you what it looks like. And maybe when my husband and my son, they like blow it, but this is what it looks like. And my husband blows it, and it's really powerful and it gets you set for the day. Like whatever's going on with you, you just like really like are ready for the day. You're ready to be nice to people. You're ready to be a little bit more careful in what you say to people because it's the time that we're connecting as Jewish people, and it's like really nice. And you can see like everything's like out for sale, and there's sales for clothes because everybody buys clothes, and it's really amazing because it's hard to describe because you could feel it, and everybody wishes everybody a nice greeting. They say Lashana Tova, to a good year. And it's just really nice. And for me, I think I spoke a while ago about the buses and how crowded they are and how there are a lot of senior citizens on the bus and you have to get up to give your seat to them. You should. So I don't even bother sitting down because I know that I'm going to have to give my seat up to someone. But even then, like even they are a little bit nicer to you about getting up and giving your seat to them. You know, it's like really funny. What else? Yeah, so living here in Israel is like really great. My Hebrew is not as well as it should be considering how long I've been here. It's just because a lot of Americans live here too, and you tend to gravitate to Americans, which my husband and I did not do. When we first moved we moved to a totally Israeli neighborhood, and oh my gosh, it was so hard for me. And then we ended up moving, and I needed a bigger place. Israel, all in the European countries, the apartments are smaller. So we moved to a place where I was like, oh, I got a gorgeous, huge apartment, yay. But the people, even though there were like lots of Americans and a mixture of people, it wasn't for us because we are Haredi, like ultra Orthodox, and in the neighborhood that we moved to is not. They're religious, but and in Israel, everything's like a box. I'll talk about that another day, probably as we get closer to the holiday of Rosh Hashanah. So we stayed there for like a year and a half. I had a baby there. And then we moved to an ultra-Orthodox neighborhood, which was great. And all Hebrew speakers, mostly. There were English speakers, but they all spoke Hebrew also. So it was really nice. But I forgot the Hebrew that I learned when I learned it in class, which is called Opan. So I forgot like a lot of it, but people were very like patient, and it was like really nice, and I love that neighborhood for the time that we were there. And so now that we moved back to the city, because we lived on a yeshuv, now that we moved back, which is a settlement, now that we moved back to the city, it's the Hebrew again. And I'm remembering, but my kids who speak Hebrew more than they speak English, they both speak English, but you could tell they're from somewhere else. They have like very heavy accents. And my son has a hard time translating from Hebrew to English for me, especially when he's angry or upset. And just forget about it. When they're upset or angry, I just wait till they calm down, and then they can tell me because they are not talking to me in English. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. And any questions, ask away, and maybe I'll do that get to know me thing that people do, but no drawing. Bye. Thanks for watching.